The brilliant Douglas Murray won this week over the likes of Mohammed Hijab, the UK's most famous Muslim, as it would seem. Mohammed Hijab has got a lot of followers over on YouTube, and this week he lost big. It was revealed that Mohammed Hijab lied and tried to, make himself look out to be like he was the victim in the whole situation, but he was not the victim at all. And Douglas Murray, if we have him on our side, it's more than likely that we're going to win and win big, and that he did this week. And I am highlighting, or I'm putting a spotlight on Douglas Murray again, because this is what Douglas Murray had to say about the entire incident in an article that he wrote for The Spectator. One of the occupational hazards of being a journalist is being hounded by, indeed, one of the reasons why much of the media finds it easier to report fluff than to write about difficult issues is that the latter can be costly in terms of money as well as time. You know, like people can sue you for pretty much anything these days. It's like you got to be extremely careful what you say and how you say it, because people can get offended by it. 3 years ago, I wrote a column in this magazine about some of the downsides of diversity. At the time, there had just been serious disturbances in Leicester between local Hindus and Muslims. By the way, don't mess with Hindus. Muslims ended up learning the hard way about that. One of the people who decided to throw himself into the middle of the trouble and to try to make things worse was an online pugilist known as Mohammed Hijab. Hijab had already been filmed intimidating Jews in Golders Green and whipping up a crowd of masked men outside the Israeli embassy in London. In Leicester, he chose to make a derogatory speech about Hindus to a crowd of men and then picture himself leading a Muslim patrol in the city. These men were already masked and not willing to show their faces. After I pointed this out, Hijab tried to sue me and The Spectator. I retained the excellent Mark Lewis as my lawyer, and for years, along with the magazine's brilliant legal team, RPC, we watched Hijab perform every known legal and rhetorical contortion. Hijab's lawyers repeatedly dragged out their case, avoided every opportunity to drop it, and insisted not only that what I had written was untrue, but that Hijab had suffered serious emotional and mental distress as well as financial loss as a result, which was not true in the slightest, was it? Hijab seemed to think that he could use the courts to not just pursue me, but to debate me. Last month, the case was heard in London before Mr. Justice Johnson. Many of Hijab's witnesses failed to show up, claiming ill health or having appeared to have skipped the country. That's embarrassing. Hijab himself spent several days in the witness box. This week, the judge delivered his verdict. Mr. Justice Johnson found that what I had said in my article was accurate, that Hijab had hurt his own reputation more through his actions and social media posts than I ever could have done with my article, and that the number of lies Hijab told in court was so numerous that his evidence overall is worthless. Man, the guy was lying and got caught out in his lies in court. That should tell you everything you need to know, shouldn't it? The judgment also noted that as well as being combative and constantly argumentative, which is definitely Mohammed Hijab's nature, when cross-examined by my barrister and The Spectator's barrister, Hijab also demonstrated a palpable personality towards your columnist. How about that, right? Against Douglas Murray. Why in the world anyone would want to attack or have a personal, vendetta against Douglas Murray, I don't know. Bad move, Hijab. The judgment found that Hijab lied about events in Golders Green, which he refused to accept was a Jewish area. Found that he had lied about his demagogic and dangerous actions outside the Israeli embassy in London, that he had lied about events in Leicester, and that he had also lied about and indeed appeared to have contorted his claims of lost earnings. These lost earnings were alleged to have come from 3 Muslim organizations, including a supplements company called Nature's Blends, all claim to have been big readers of my Spectator column, as indeed Hijab alleged, causing him yet more hurt. Was a receptionist at his local gym. Witnesses to his alleged financial loss failed to attend court. Another, Mr. Wazwai from Nature's Blend, had to try to explain his recent conviction and time spent in prison for making false court claims after staging car accidents. Gee, seems like he wants a payout, doesn't it? Not many law case reports make good reading in their own right, but this one does. Indeed it did. I loved reading about it. No doubt Hijab will bluster that the findings are unfair and anti-Islamic, blah, 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 because they always do that, right? They're the victim. They've got no personal responsibility whatsoever. Just as he tried to claim in court that Tommy Robinson, Benjamin Netanyahu, and myself are three examples of non-Hindu Hindu extremists. By the way, stopping it right there, because Tommy Robinson had this to say about Mohammed Hijab.
The funny thing is, this moron has also started legal proceedings against me. And his legal proceedings are because I called him a caveman and said that he has pro-pedophile views. So just to set the record straight, Mohammed Hijab is a caveman who has pro-pedophile views. Send that to your fucking lawyers, Mo.
Oh, Tommy Robinson, right? So Mohammed Hijab is now going after Tommy Robinson, started legal proceedings against him because it's not bad enough to go after Douglas Murray. No, you got to go after Tommy Robinson as well, because Tommy called him a caveman and said that he has PDF file views, which if you watch any of the videos that Mohammed Hijab has made in that sort of realm, Tommy's right, isn't he? Maybe people should actually view some evidence and view the things that Mohammed Hijab has said. Like the judge, Mr. Justice Johnson, pointed out quite clearly, Mohammed Hijab's social media posts and his YouTube videos do him more damage than any article could. How about that, right? In court, Hijab boasted of having sued other publications. Did he win any? He seemed proud of trying to bully the press as well as the courts. That's something, isn't it? You're trying to win, but you're acting proud. Pride goes before a what, Hijab? But time and again, he could not stop himself from lying. He claimed that his demagogic street speeches were attempts to publicly debate theology, eschatology. The judge found there was no such thing. Hijab had gone to Jewish areas on the Sabbath and a Hindu area during a volatile moment to engage in a type of vigilantism. As the judge said, Hijab was deliberately acting irresponsibly, raising the temperature of a volatile and potentially dangerous situation with provocative and inflammatory language. The judge found his denials of vigilantism to be self-defeating and untenable. In summary, the judge found that the claimant is a street agitator who also whipped up a mob on London streets, addressed an anti-Israel protest in inflammatory terms, and exuberated frayed tensions, which had already spilled over into public disorder between Muslim and Hindu communities in Leicester by whipping up his Muslim followers, including ridiculing Hindus for their belief in reincarnation and describing Hindus as pathetic, weak, and cowardly in comparison to whom he would rather be an animal. The judge ruled that what I wrote 3 years ago was true and Hijab was a liar. Boom. See you later, Hijab. See you later. What to conclude about all this? Only the press in this country often has to put up with hijab-like figures. Few readers will be aware of the fact that one of the perils of an otherwise wonderful profession is litigious individuals attempting to silence the press from saying things about them that are true. Indeed, I know journalists who in recent years have to spend more time dealing with their lawyers and dealing with their own editors. It is inevitable that over time, many editors, publication and journalists will decide to take an easier route. Hijab imagined he could use the court system to intimidate me and this magazine. He he resolutely and comprehensively failed. It turned out that a London courtroom and a British judge are not YouTube or some other online echo chamber. The court is a place where facts are able to come out and where lies can come out as well. I'm very proud that the Spectator stood up against this thug and bully and that a judge has exposed him for everyone to see. How embarrassing for Mohammed Hijab. And how wonderful to see Douglas Murray and even Tommy Robinson now, because he was named also for the win. Like, that is pretty incredible. So the Spectator didn't bow down to a bully, so they should not. Neither did Douglas Murray. And look, if you are in the right, the truth will always come out, won't it? Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.